Obviously, the biggest headline: Luka's reunion. Last night, Luka Doncic made his long-awaited return to Dallas with the Lakers beating the Mavericks 112-97 to 97. He put on a masterclass of 45 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, hitting 7 threes. The man had 25 points in the first half of the first 15 minutes. You could
Yeah,
tell
well,
throughout the game, Kyrie Irving was missed a lot of stagnation, but the offense wasn't flowing. Is Kyrie the answer for the Mavericks, though? For them to get over the hump?
No, never will be.
yeah, well, and that was exactly what I was gonna say. Is Luka is that offense that the Mavericks were missing, and they saw it right in front of him last night. And he was getting to everything. He was hitting tough shots. He was really working well, getting to mismatches and being able to pull the big guys out to the perimeter, and then work straight past them or hit a three in their face. So it seemed like everything was working for Luka, and despite the game itself, obviously the tribute to him was, I think, my favorite part of the game, and just seeing the emotions that are still there, which obviously I'm sure made things a little bit more tense. But I think that they still appreciate him no matter what decisions they made. And I mean, Luka was vocal. He loves his city, and I think he knew he was going to put on today, or I guess last night.
You know what JJ Redick said? He said that Luka's performance was superhuman, and that is exactly what he is. And I do
Yep.
not understand to this day why he was traded for a bag of chips and Anthony Davis. Okay, no disrespect to Anthony Davis, but if you're going to get Luka, at least get Austin Reeves and Anthony Davis and some picks from the Lakers, because you know they're going to be set with Luka if they have all those picks. And guess what? They are now. So it doesn't make any sense to me still to this day. They were screaming fire Nico in the building, and to be honest, I can't really blame them as an outside fan. Like, I'm not a fan of the Mavericks, but as a fan of basketball, I can't even hate on that, because
We,
why would you trade him? Okay, now to Luka's performance, absolutely stunning. I knew it was going to happen. I knew he was going to put up some type of historical numbers, because why not? Old team, you're going to do it in front of Nico's face. But there's a part of me. Let me say this real quick. There's a part of me that thinks Nico is taking all the blame from the new owners, the new majority owners, that Mark Cuban decided to sell the team. I think that he's taking all the blame from them, because I think that they didn't want to pay it, because Nico
yep.
didn't pay them. The owners pay them. And when you have a big contract coming up like that, it only you look at all the wrong things that they do. And if it's that bad, you're not getting paid. And for that thing that was bad, it was Lucas' defense. So I think that Nico is taking all the blame from them, but still, if you're in that GM position, in my opinion, I don't know all the details about the inside the NBA or anything like that yet. But if I'm from a fan perspective, if you're the GM and you have an a historic player on your team, he's on pace to like put up historical numbers, and he's just playing out of his mind. He brought you to the finals last year. There's no way I'm backing down from the owners and saying that I'm going to trade him. There's no way. So I don't know what happened. I don't know why the Lakers were the only team that they talked to, but it makes no sense. And Jalen, the Jazz were kind of a part of that trade too. I'm not sure if
Yep.
you have any inside NBA talk on that, but from my perspective, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe it makes sense to you, but I would love to hear
They
from
got
you.
some pencil shavings out of
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
right.
I think we got a pick, believe out of it. I think that's where we had
Jalen's a part of the Jazz, by the way, everybody.
hold on, let me see if I can find that trade, because I think we
Yeah.
had got
You got
one
somebody.
player that's not with us anymore.
Yeah, you waived him the next day, or the same day maybe. I don't remember,
While
but
you're looking for that, can we just talk about the fact that the Lakers could make a lot of teams really nervous in the playoffs? This
man, they
is
just
this is
secured the
a
top
team
six
that's set to
seed.
go.
Yeah, they just secured the top 6 seed.
That's it. I remember now. We got Hus Scafino for that,
Yeah.
and we didn't keep him.
Hmm.
Yeah,
He didn't even come He didn't even come to practice.
he didn't even
They didn't
make
even
it in the
have. They didn't
building.
have. They didn't even have him come to practice.
Didn't you get Schroeder too in the same building?
Was Schroeder a part of that deal though?
So not a part of that deal, but just like a different trade. Didn't the Warriors play you, and then he
Oh
got
yeah,
traded,
we did. We did have.
he got
I was
traded like
actually
the
sitting
same night.
courtside with Steph Curry was warming up,
Yeah,
and
and Wiggins
all
got
of a
traded too.
sudden everything stopped,
And they
and
got Jimmy.
then Steph Curry went to the back. All the Warriors players, all the Warriors people went off the floor because it was just Steph Curry at that time because
Right.
he was about to warm up. So He walked to the back, and then all of his coaching staff went to the back. And then they said it was a closed door. So they were like, well, they never close that door ever when a team is here. So they closed the door,
That's insane.
and no Marvin Sapp, but they closed the door, and I guess they were going over the discussion and what happened, and that's when I saw my phone that Jimmy Butler was traded to the Warriors, and I was like, me and one of the coworkers I was sitting next to, we were like, that's why Steph Curry went to the back, and he didn't come back for a while actually, like he didn't come back for at least 5 minutes.
He had to say bye.
So I'm like, is he even gonna come back and warm up? Like at the time, I had already seen him make a few layups, but is he gonna come back? And he came back out, but later, like I think while he was shooting, more details of the trade came out that Dennis Schroeder was involved in that trade, and basically he was supposed to walk over to our locker room, and
he couldn't play though, right?
No, he couldn't play because they had to pin the medicals and stuff. But basically, he would have to walk over to our bench.
That's crazy.
But they didn't do that. I think we bought him out or said we weren't going to keep him, and he got sent to. At first, he got sent. I think
to the Raptors, and then the Pistons.
And then he went to the
Raptors and won, and then the Pistons. It's crazy.
He got passed. I know. I don't smoke, but he got passed around like a blunt.
No, yeah, for sure. But listen, man, just back to that Luka, his performance is absolutely amazing, and in the playoffs, I'm really hoping to see them do good. But just if they play the Warriors, I don't want them to do that good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I need Steph to get another ring, but it's very unlikely because the Warriors just lost. But they're gonna be the playing team probably, which sucks. But that's all right. But
Redick had go ahead.
But Luka and LeBron and Reeves are going to be great in the playoffs. The only issue I have with that team is no big. So that's going to be a huge issue, especially if they play Jokic. But they seem to be pretty good. It doesn't really matter against Jokic now because they don't have a good coach anymore. I don't know if you guys saw that clip, but Jokic was on the sideline just coaching the team himself last night against the Kings. I'm pretty sure they lost that game too. So.
No, they won that one.
They won. Okay, never mind.
Actually, it's right there, 124.
I know they. Yeah, I know they lost the lead. I'll turn the game off. I don't know if they won or not because I was just like whatever. But Luka's going to be great in the playoffs. Nico's going to forever hold that. They're going to forever hold that against his head. So.
Can we just take a look at the middle of that Western Conference right now? Obviously, that seems like the Lakers are going to come out on top of that scrum between the 3 and the 8 seed, but everybody's still within 2.5 games of each other. If you take the Lakers out, within 1.5 games, and I think that one team you still got to look out for is the Clippers. They're hot right now.
Right,
8 of the last 10, 6 in a row. Harden's happy.
If the Clippers play the Nuggets, I got Clippers in like 5. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, let's listen. I don't think that we can rule out the Nuggets yet. I think that there's still a lot of talent there. I think it could be with that Western Conference. It could still be interesting, and they have the star power to do it. I'm saying the Clippers will be tough to fend off, though. I can't be a betting man and put any numbers on anybody right now without doing some full down research. But I think at this point, the Clippers are definitely gaining ground.
Coaching matters, especially in the playoffs. And if they don't have a coach, and I will never. We'll get to this in a second, obviously, but I would just never understand it. Why they do this a week before, 2 weeks before playoffs makes no sense to me. But in the playoffs, especially in crucial moments, in like game 4s or like game 5s, and especially game 7s, it's going to involve high class coaching, and the Nuggets do not have that now. They have the talent, yes, but that can only get you so far. Like the Grizzlies, they're only going to get so far because they don't have a coach anymore. They should have waited till after the season. So that's my opinion, but it's just it matters. It comes down to coaching a lot in the playoffs, from what I've seen as a fan. So,
well, if you look at what JJ Redick said, he said that his ability to then go perform, the lights turn on. He's teary-eyed, emotional. Resolve to put on that kind of a performance. He's a superhuman.
He had the whole stadium behind his back. That's why he had no. I don't think once he stepped on the court, it looked like he didn't have any type of nerves whatsoever because everybody in there was behind him.
Oh, not one bit. And then you can see that. What's his name? Jason Kidd. He says, "We believe And Nico and Patrick, Nico Harrison had the full support from bosses.
Yeah, they forced him to do it.
Yeah. And
That's
like
pretty
Drew
much
said, he
crazy.
wanted to look at. You said you wanted to look at the middle of the Western Conference. Well, there you go. I mean,
Yeah, this is a group that, I mean, we've kind of seen this in the Western Conference in past years, but with so few games left, these are pretty much from 4 to 8 could shift at this point, and it could end up where a couple of teams lose their last 2 games and drop 2 to 3 seeds, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But if everything were to land as is, and that would be, I mean, the only matchup set in stone from that group would be Lakers Grizzlies, which that would be some fireworks, and then
Lakers would win that. They don't play bad against Memphis at all. It's kind of crazy. I've seen them play Memphis for years, and they just never bat an eye. It's crazy.
that's true. But the other thing you got to think about, you're the one who is preaching coaching. It'll be interesting to see how JJ Redick handles himself in the playoffs.
That's my
well,
question.
I was actually talking to my dad this morning, and we were talking about how he had full support of of Nico and Patrick. What is crazy is that they wanted him gone.
I don't get it.
So why would what? It's something we don't know what happened, but what happened for them to have management in the front office don't even want to give you the max to what you deserve and what you brought to Dallas as an 18-year-old kid, for them to turn on you that quick, and for them not even to want you in the building. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I think that I don't know what the outlying factors are, but there's certainly a lot to look into, and that's obviously something that people have speculated now for months. But I think at this point, it's just a matter of I don't think the Mavericks felt like they're ready to pursue a championship anymore, and I don't get that aspect of it. But that's what it comes down to for me, and they've kind of lost their fan base over it.
We got some Nico Harrison clip that they were saying fire Nico. Here we go. Let's get this in there. And he was just smiling, laughing with all the security guards around him. I mean, it was. I don't understand why he's the only one taking so much flack. I hate it. Actually, because that makes fans really look bad.
Well, he took all the blame, bro. He literally said, "I did this because for the better of the Mavericks organization." He said that at multiple press conferences. He took that on himself. So, like I said, I understand, he might have done it for the bosses, but I mean, he took all the blame. He literally publicly did it like multiple times, saying that it would be worth it in a year or two.
Yeah, and when you do that, you can't cry about it, and that's I think that Nico's kind of probably handling it as good as he can for knowing what the response is. Obviously, it'd be so easy for someone to maybe just go and hide away from that, and obviously, I mean, there's a reason that there's a couple security guards there, but I think that when you think about this team as a whole, they just for some reason didn't believe in him, and he had his reasons, and I mean, only time will tell if that was proper. Or I mean, the Lakers, I think, have a pretty good chance of fast tracking it to the Western Conference Finals, and then we'll see from there.
Hey Jalen, if you don't mind, put that graphic back up for me real quick, bro, because I'm trying to look and see. So the Lakers got it locked up. Okay, they got top 6 seed. Mm-hmm. Nuggets. If the Nuggets lose and the Warriors win, they might switch spots, or the Clippers. Obviously, the Grizzlies, if they lose, they'll switch spots probably. But these matchups are just insane. Like the play-in tournament actually
could literally be an actual playoffs. Like the play-in tournament is looking the way an actual playoff series should look.
Right. And the Kings, they're like very underrated in my opinion. I don't think that they're that bad. Even with them too, they lost their coach earlier this year. And
I don't understand it.
It worked out for them for like 2 weeks, and then they kind of just went back to regular form. But their team is low-key not that bad. So if I'm the Warriors or Minnesota right now, or even the Grizzlies, I don't want to play them because they got DeMar DeRozan, who is a seasoned veteran. They have Zach LaVine, who's he's a veteran as well. I wouldn't say he's a top veteran, but he's a veteran and he knows the game very well. They have Sabonis, one of the best centers in the game. I mean, I personally just, especially the Warriors, I don't think I want to play them because they got a lot of history and no De'Aaron Fox anymore, but Malik Monk and Keon Ellis they're good enough. So I don't know, that playing series is looking really cool to me, but those playoff spots are going to be crucial, man. Like those matchups are just going to be absolutely amazing. So
Yeah, and when we look at those matchups, I mean, the Western Conference, they all play each other at this point. I mean, let's start with the Nuggets at the top of that chain. That's they play the Grizzlies and the Rockets, which neither are a very easy task. You look at the Clippers, they play the Kings and the Warriors to finish out the season. And back up to number 3 with the Lakers, they play the Rockets and the Trailblazers, so they're not even clear to go get that 3 yet. So those are just the top 3. I haven't gotten to look at the other ones, but it's going to be really interesting to see how those numbers play out. Because I mean, if you look at it, that means the Rockets finished their season with the Lakers and the Nuggets, and that's going to make things. Obviously, they won't move anywhere, but that's going to be a tough road for them just before getting to the postseason.
But the Rockets have a chance to do the greatest thing possible for them, which is, well, no, actually they have a chance to do something bad for them, because if they let these 2 teams win or lose, or if they beat these teams, excuse me, and these teams fall to like the 7th spot, they have to play them first round. So that would, that would suck.
We do got some post-game footage. We do got some post-game footage of Luka talking about the game and his homecoming and all about what he felt.
Going to be like tonight. Just what were you feeling out there on the court?
I don't know, honestly. Everybody saw me the way I reacted to the video. All these fans, I really appreciate it, man. All the teammates I had, everybody had my back. I'm just happy, this guy, I love these fans. I love this city, but it's time to move on.
What was it like for you sitting there watching all that love, watching that video pregame?
So many emotions. Can't even explain it, Brought tears to my eyes. Like I said, I came as a young kid here with 18, and I know what to expect from NBA. And, they made me feel like home, and it's just a lot of great memories.
Do you know my odd takeaway from that one?
Mm-hmm.
Watching that video, obviously everything that he said was super meaningful to the city, but I also found it interesting that after the Mavericks just gave up 45 to Luka and they lost, that they were playing the song Better Days in the background. I think that was just, I feel like that was just icing on the cake. They're like, oh, well, maybe someday we'll be good again. Maybe we'll have our next Dirk, and I don't even know how long, but it clearly wasn't Luka for them.
There's speculation around the league, or the fans around the league, I should say, that the trade was coordinated to push away from the fans because the owners that took over the majority have a lot of like casinos or something in Las Vegas or something like that. They have a lot of ties in Vegas or something like that, and they want to move the team to Las Vegas.
Yep.
Dallas?
Something along those, because they want to get out of Dallas to go to Vegas because they want a team in Vegas for the NBA, which
that's silly.
I think it's silly, but at that point, just expand. Which I wouldn't mind if there was like 2 more teams in the league personally.
I was gonna say, you bought the wrong franchise for that. I don't think that Dallas is going to give him up that easy.
Yeah, no way that's even possible. I feel like Dallas is way too big of a community, especially
no matter how PO'd they are at the ownership right now. There's no way that they're going to let them take that team away from them.
No, I agree. It was just a lot of speculation because the new owners, they have so many ties in Vegas, and that does say a lot because it makes a little bit of sense on why they're trying to, force their way out a little bit with giving up their best player they've had in a decade. So
I think an outlier of all of this is going to be Max Christie.
He's good though.
He's been playing really well. He had 11 points off the bench in 28 minutes. He hit a 3, went 5 for 8 from the field. He's playing some heavy minutes. I mean, he's going to be an outlier in this trade. Not enough people are going to talk about it, but he's going to be a real problem for them down the stretch in the future. So I know the Lakers didn't want to give him up, but it was either him or Austin Reeves, and they have to make a decision.
I still don't understand how you just don't force Reeves to Dallas.
I don't understand how any teams are like not making trades with the Lakers and not trying to ask for Reeves.
Well, I bet you Dallas wasn't going to want to pay for him.
That too, yeah.
Dude's got a hefty contract.
I mean,
It's
not as much as Luka's though. Of what his would have been or what it is now.
yeah, but Luka's a
I think they would
superstar.
have took Luka. I think they would have took Luka instead of Austin Reeves' contract at the moment.
Yeah, Luka's. I'm sure you can agree that he's miles ahead of Austin Reeves, no matter how
Absolutely.
talented he's played and how much he's outperformed what people expected. But
Absolutely, I'm just saying though, like for Dallas, I mean, I guess they already took up AD's contract, but they have all the money in the world. They clearly had enough money to pay Luka. They just didn't want to. They could have got Reeves and AD and then kept Kyrie. They didn't need Max Christie if they had Austin Reeves. I understand, but if they were serious about them making a run for the playoffs in the next year or two, that would have been the right move to make because that was their whole point. They wanted they wanted to prove that they could do that in the next year or two or three. And picking up Austin Reeves with Anthony Davis still, and you have Kyrie, who I don't think would have been injured if they got something else that would help Kyrie out with the minutes. That would have helped them a lot, and they would be in a lot better position than they are now because the trade would have made so much more sense. And
yeah, but they would have had to dump someone else off to the Jazz or something like that. They would have had another starter, but they would have lost their depth.
Well, get rid of Clay. I mean, they don't really value him that much. Clearly, if they're giving away everybody and Kyrie gets hurt and they get rid of Luka, Clay's value really came to the Mavericks.
Clay's value is down, way down.
I mean, it's down, but they signed him for 3 years, $60 million, bro. It can't be that much down. You know,
this is Nico Harrison. This is Nico Harrison leaving the building.
He knows it's gonna be a tough media day for him tomorrow.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah, he walked away like he knew the cameras was gonna be on him. You could tell the way he was looking. Like I hate when they do that when they walk around and they act like no cameras are there, no cameras in their face, bro. You know the cameras are all in your face.
Got you, man.
You leaving, so
he has to. He ain't got no choice, man.
You gotta. I mean, you're gonna end that there. You gotta live up on it. You gotta You gotta own up to it, and you better find a way to win a championship before Luka does. That's all I tell you.
Is it too early to say that they'll go beat the Warriors in the play-in tournament?
Here we go.
I think the Warriors might actually make the postseason. Top six.
I think that they could. Yeah. Well, it depends on how everything shakes out, but I think it would just be hilarious if that's how everything shaked out and the Mavericks went on a tear at the end. I think that would be very fun. I don't think it's going to happen, but especially because I mean I'm sure Nazir will glaze all over, but Steph Curry is still Steph Curry.
Yep, the GOAT.
Of course,
I'll never stop.